So the idea here is to play 1v1 match, discuss a character's strengths and weaknesses, and do that without rushing, and more than likely playing against someone who will rush me. I have achieved my rank of Onyx without playing a single match where I've rushed. I haven't rushed at all. I'm completely against it. I mean, it's perfectly fine that other people rushed. I just don't see the enjoyment in it. It's a very linear style of play. So what I'm going to be doing is what I always do. Just playing normal and seeing how effectively I can counter rushes, as I normally do. If that's something you're interested in, welcome. All right. A cutter. Okay. My favorite character is Decimus, which is interesting because I feel like he's one of the weaker characters in this game so far. But the idea behind all of his abilities really intrigues me. He caught on during the Blitz beta. I really enjoyed the idea behind Boundless Fury. It's not quite as effective in Deathmatch as it is in Blitz, but
Listen up, wretches.
It's there. Okay, so starting off, I never rush. So my build order is sort of set in stone. I found what works really well for me. I start with a power extractor, immediately upgrade it, and then follow it with 3 harvesters. I only upgrade the first harvester immediately, and then I wait until I have enough supplies to build a second power extractor. I'll upgrade that, and then I will upgrade the last 2 harvesters. Power is just incredibly important, and playing against a rush, oftentimes you want to get tech tier 2 very quickly if you can. So now it's just a whole lot of supply gathering around the map with your starting grunts. And waiting. Now Decimus' abilities seem to be mostly about staying in the fight or winning over an opponent while you're in a fight. It doesn't really take into account the effectiveness of other people's abilities though, such as Atriox, who can be incredibly useful in a fight if you use his abilities at the right moment. Okay, I'm gonna build 3 additional grunt teams as I can,
Hold your tongues and listen.
so that I have 5 to go take a power node. 5 just feels like a comfortable number, that way if I lose 1 or 2, I don't get completely set back, and I can continue taking power nodes if I'm able. One more. Oops.
Ready yourselves.
Upgrade the second harvester. I'll build 2 turrets as well, because I know the rush is coming, and turrets are usually instrumental in preventing your base from being destroyed.
Rally point set. All units. Listen up, wretches. Augmented harvester upgrade.
Little behind on that upgrade, that's alright. Before I build my second turret though, I will probably build this base. I like to expand quickly, and I like to expand exponentially, and a lot of the time, that can be my downfall. You don't want to expand too quickly, but for me, a second base is normal. Now abilities, out of the first few you can get, I usually go for Killing Frenzy. It helps the grunts in taking the power extractors around the map, but I like to get Vortex Lightning in case I do get rushed. You can completely stop a bunched up army of Marines or Jackrabbits or whatever ends up flying your way. It's actually incredibly useful for being an anti-rush ability. Get a second turret going. Make sure I'm focusing down all of those. And then I'll take the next four to the next power node while he gathers that one.
What do you want?
Now, at this point, I still have no idea if my opponent is going to rush. He does have this power node. Let's see if I can get it. See what he does about that.
Outpost constructed.
Got an outpost. Now, I won't upgrade these two harvesters or this base, unfortunately, until I have Tech Tier 2, which I almost have enough for. About 4 minutes in, so getting Tech Tier 2 now is not a bad deal. I was actually already getting rushed at this point in my last game, and so I started building with my extra 1,000 supplies that I've got now. Started building extra turrets on my main base. Completely stopped the Jackrabbit rush before I even had a, ooh, what's it called? A raid camp up to start building hunters. Okay, upgrade that base. Go ahead and grab a war council.
What do you want? Citadel upgrade complete.
I don't want him taking that power node and getting attacked before the rest of them can join him. There they are. Now I like to build a raid camp and a foundry, so that way I've got all my bases covered in case they try to send air at me, in case they try to send infantry or vehicles. I'm able to build the counter, the direct counter to all of those. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of power going, but these power nodes should change that. Now, just in case, I enjoy building at least 2 of all 3 of those at the very beginning. Just in case. I'm bad at scouting, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I will build a chopper to go see, just in case, if he is going to start sending something my way. Shown up at the power node. Just some infantry. Stop collecting that. Our extractor. Okay, units go back to that one. Oh, did I only start a hunter team? Oh no, I got a jackal team. I just have my rally point set up a little farther. I forgot about that.
Power extractor constructed.
Alright, chopper. It's very important to know if your opponent is building a base or not. Okay, get out of there. Get out of there. Obviously, he's going for the infantry, and he has snipers in there, so it would be in my best interest to get maybe a few vehicles to help with that. Marauder or 2, maybe a couple of locusts.
What is our mission?
Even though locusts were recently nerfed a little bit, they are still incredibly powerful against a ton, I mean a ton of different enemy units, not just buildings like they're supposed to be. Okay. Now I can Vortex Lightning. Unfortunately, he's destroyed both of my turrets, so that was pretty bad timing. But I did shut down a large chunk of his units right there. And now I may be able to finish them off with the glassing beam and the few units I'm building. And just like that, shut down his rush. He's got nothing left, and all he has to show for it are a few dead units and 2 dead turrets. Not bad, not bad. And I've been neglecting my power, so now I have enough to upgrade to Tech Tier 3.
Local units. Rally point set.
Now he killed my chopper, so I'm going to rebuild one of those really quick here. I use my next 750 on Reinforcements 1, even though I don't have a full army right now. Although at this point it's definitely a good idea to start building. Anyway,
Turret complete.
let's get a full health one of them in there.
Turret complete. Chopper ready to roll out.
So obviously Glassing Beam can be very useful against rushes as well. I wouldn't recommend Fury to counter rushes. It's incredibly good if you can get enough units affected by it, but its area of effect is very small. If you only affect one unit, you're better off not using it. Although all 3 upgrades, it costs no supplies to use, which is incredibly useful. Like I said before, get a few counters to everything before I know what he's got. Take my chopper, send that up there, see if he's got a second base or not yet. Go ahead and grab advanced logistics. He has a marine team. Okay.
They're under attack from their infantry. Leader power ready.
He is building, so I'm gonna move in and I'm gonna shut that down. I do not want him to get another base if I can.
Level 1 researched. Come on, birdies. Show your wings.
I'm going to build up an extra turret on each base.
Immediately.
Ready for some deconstruction.
Just to be sure. Now, okay, he's got a ton of infantry again.
Ready yourselves. On the
That's a very bad thing for me because I do not have a ton of anti-infantry at the moment.
rally point set.
And I keep clicking all units to get everything out of there quickly, and then ruining my chopper. Go ahead and get advanced logistics too, because it looks like he's serious about pushing again.
Turret complete.
And I want to be able to defend against that as well as I can.
Local units.
Now, Marauders might not be the best, but they do have their stunning ability, which is incredibly useful. Now, I have a Vortex Lightning. I'm going to save up enough to use that, and then send everything in.
Logistics level 2.
Oh, he's going to move away.
Citadel upgrade complete.
Interesting. Alright, Boundless Siphon. Pro tip, Boundless Siphon is more effective than Boundless Fury. I've tested them where you only get one or the other. Boundless Siphon against Boundless Fury. Boundless Siphon will win every time.
Rally point set. The enemy has
Just a heads up.
power node. Rangers reporting for duty.
He's about to get a rude awakening as my units shoot him from the hill and he can't fight back effectively.
To the enemy.
Height advantage is a real threat in this game.
We're losing a power node to the enemy. Ready to terminate.
He's trying to take all of my power nodes.
Outpost constructed. Weapons ready.
You want something demolished?
Siphon, to get back to the abilities, Siphon is a very useful ability to use. It gives you a significant amount of health back as long as you're in a fight. If you're not in a fight,
Constructed.
not really gonna do anything for you. I don't even think it helps at all.
Reinforcements level 2 researched.
Go ahead and get fortified base so we can't just roll up and take out a base very quickly. Uh-oh.
Forward. Who do we execute? Stronghold upgrade complete.
Okay. I should have taken these mini bases sooner, but I'm in a pretty decent spot right now.
All units. All units. All units. Harvester constructed.
And that got shut down nice and quick.
All units.
So right now, I've got a huge number of units. I'm going to try to sneak over here and destroy this base before he even knows what hit him.
Mini base complete.
Where are the enemy troops?
Boundless Fury. Increase speed and damage of all of my units.
Our aim is true.
Harvester constructed. Harvester constructed. All units. Rally point set.
Alright, let's see if I can take him out.
Augmented harvester upgrade complete. All units. All units.
And that was very unupgraded.
Harvester constructed.
Easy. Easy to ruin. I like to have diversity in my army, if you haven't noticed at this point. It's a lot harder to count.
Augmented
Yeah,
harvester
a lot harder to counter. My bad.
Focus on the
A very diverse army. People panic and usually try to counter the more fearsome units, probably in this case my locusts. He's probably really concerned about my locusts and my jackal, or elites. I'm used to the first Halo Wars, excuse me.
point set.
He's probably very concerned about those elites because he's been building infantry. Ooh, and I was not paying enough attention for that.
Fire. Have a target.
Now he's got a lot of snipers up by his main base. He's gonna have to start sending stuff down.
Lost a vehicle.
Oh, there they are.
All units.
So that is huge, right here. He's got this huge bit of infantry here. I've got a ton of anti-infantry, and I can just stun most of them, and they die like nothing.
Units. Rally
Unfortunately, he's got that close air support, and I've got to get out of there as fast as I can before it ruins me.
units. Leader point earned. All units.
Now I'm losing a ton of units,
Outpost constructed.
so I should keep rebuilding.
All
Keeping a steady supply
units.
of units going is huge as well.
Infantry level 1 researched.
need something demolished.
Now I would like Siphon. Healing faster would be instrumental for me at this point in the match. Seeing as I still have a ton of units that are damaged. I have a few
Level 2 researched.
of these engineers still. And if you'll notice, as I take out bases, I'm trying to colonize them. That way I know, more so than not, where he's at any given moment in the match. He shows up at a base, I'll know about it.
Harvester constructed.
And I can use each of these bases, obviously, to continue upgrading my economy. So let's see what I've got. A ton of those, just in case he starts going for more vehicles. I'll get a few more hunters in the mix. And he resigned.
You fought well today.
So his rush was countered quicker probably than he expected. I destroyed 2 of his bases. He probably rolled up, saw off a cliff that I had colonized 1 or both of those base slots, and knew that I had 5 bases compared to his 1. At that point, he probably assumed that this match was over, there was no bouncing back. He could have stayed in and fought me longer. I'm the kind of guy that even if I have no chance of winning, I don't want to resign. I find it actually kind of hilarious and fun, entertaining, which is what a game is supposed to be, right? I find it to be entertaining to run around the map with whatever I've got and try to rebuild. Any sliver of hope that you've got. And if you've ever played the first Halo Wars, at least back in the day before it got updated to be a little bit more consistent, sometimes people would randomly get disconnected. It happened more often than you might think. So I would be playing, say, 2v2. A teammate of mine would get disconnected, or defeated even, by a rush, and then an opponent would get disconnected. And I could bounce back and win, even though my main base was under attack, because I pushed and built somewhere else that they weren't expecting. So just like that, 33 units lost, 69 destroyed, crushed his rush, pushed afterward, and won. I hope this was a helpful experience for anyone that is trying to play against the rush. If you're looking for more gameplays like this, I play against the rush every single game, and I'm going to try to put up a gameplay of at least... let me rephrase that. Try to put up at least one gameplay from each character describing how I personally counter a rush as each one and utilize each of their abilities to the maximum effectiveness to push for the win. Alright, I will see anyone who's interested in those videos in my next one. Thank you again for watching.